Hey you guys, it's Moonlander back with another horror movie review. And today we're going to be looking at a new movie called It Stains the Sand Red. Now this is a zombie movie written and directed by Colin Minihan, and he directed Grave Encounters, which I really enjoyed that one. Okay, so this movie starts off showing Las Vegas in ruin. Then next you see a couple in a car driving through the middle of the desert. And these are two unsavory characters. The woman's like a stripper that's a cocaine addict, and whatever type of boyfriend someone like that would have. So they're on their way to an airfield where they're supposed to meet up with some friends of the boyfriend so they can fly to some island, I guess, to survive the zombie apocalypse. Now on the way there, the woman's using cocaine and drinking liquor, and she tells him that she needs to pull over so she can puke, and of course their car gets stuck.
You're making it worse. Stop! Nick! Stop!
Wedge a piece of wood underneath it?
Where do you see a piece of wood anywhere? Look around.
And while they're trying to figure out what to do, they see one zombie walking down the middle of the road towards them. And now they end up trapping themselves in their car. And the boyfriend ends up getting eaten by the zombie. And now this woman's stuck in the middle of the desert with one lone zombie that's after her. So she gathers up what supplies she can, cocaine, cigarettes, and somehow these people have water with them. And she decides she's going to walk 30 miles to the airfield using a phone as GPS. So this movie is like entirely about this woman making it 30 miles through a desert with one zombie that will not stop following her. So the things I liked about this movie is the first half of this movie is really a pretty decent type of dark comedy. And I also found it interesting to be about characters that aren't quite typical main character of a movie, is this stripper who's a cocaine addict. Because in a way you're still kind of rooting for her, but at the same time, you're just like, I mean, what is going to happen to this woman? I found it to be enjoyable, and it has some pretty funny parts in it. This woman happens to be on her period, and I think that's also enticing the zombie. But she desperately searches for her purse for her last tampon. She, at one point, tries to get the zombie off her trail by throwing a used tampon in another direction. So, I mean, and it's done in a humorous way. I know it sounds kind of gross, but, I mean, it shows the zombie eating it and everything. But, yeah, it's funny. And she also starts belittling this guy for whatever his past life might have been, and she names him Smalls because she figures he has a small wiener. But now for the things I didn't like about this movie is now about halfway through, this movie completely changes tones, and it's no longer humorous. And I pretty much quit liking it at that point. And I was disappointed that they changed directions. Now, eventually, the zombie bumps her while she's trying to use her cocaine, and it spills everywhere. And so she's without cocaine, and I guess all of a sudden decides that she needs to find her son, who she has living with a sister because I guess she couldn't take care of him. I just think this movie would have been better if they just would have left this woman as she was and kept the humorous tone. So my final thoughts on this movie is I mean, this is definitely not my kind of zombie movie. I think the zombie genre is like just polluted with crap. And a lot of it just isn't even horror really. And it bothers me. I mean, I basically at this point don't like the zombie genre at all. It's just one movie after another that tries to make it unique in some way instead of just getting back to the roots of what a zombie movie should be. And now, while this one does succeed in being funny, it ruined it by trying to go for like a serious tone like halfway through. And I did notice that the director was a writer, but there was also another writer credited, Stuart Ortiz. And I can't help but wonder which one wrote which half, because I found them to be like completely different. And one of them was really unenjoyable. So I'm going to give this one a 5 out of 10. Alright, you guys, I'll see you on the next review.